conscious endeavors. How do we know if it's something that we don't want in our reality versus something that we need to work on and grow from? Because all of the things that we need to work on and grow from are going to trigger us, and all triggers are unhealed wounds. So if unhealed wounds come up, and if triggers come up, if you feel angry or triggered, this has nothing to do with the individual, it has everything to do with you. Go within. Why are you becoming triggered by that individual? What about that individual do you hate, or are you judgmental? Why are you judgmental? If the person didn't do anything, but you can't stand them already, and if you don't even want to talk to them, this is very serious work that you need to do on your part. You need to go within. Because if something's triggering you that bad, especially by the way somebody looks because they have long hair and a beard, this is some serious work that you need to do and go within, because you have very serious issues with judgment. So as I used to judge, and I still do, I'm still pretty judgmental actually. I still have to work on my judgment. I'm not perfect. I try not to judge others, but sometimes I ask, why can't they be better? You know, I always wonder, why is it that people don't strive to get more answers and truth? I always ask and I always wonder. I judge people because they don't ask and they don't search and they don't stretch the limits to find truth sometimes, and it really triggers me. So no one is exempt of it. Every one of us has triggers. But how do we know if this trigger is something we need to work on, or if it's something that we don't want in our reality, if we don't like, we would prefer for it not to be there? Well, anything that's too toxic, that's too much, I always say the cure for disrespect is absence. If you disrespect somebody, but give them an opportunity to talk it out and communicate. But if you constantly disrespect someone, and if it's a cycle, then maybe this is something that you need to look within yourself too, because triggers are unhealed wounds. And also, if somebody's deliberately trying to be toxic, then this is probably something you don't want in your reality. But otherwise, any other time that you're triggered, this is always unhealed wounds, and we should always go within. Always. So we should not negate or delete negativity 100%, because some of this negativity and toxicity that we're getting, it's really triggers that we're getting because we have to go within. We need to do the work. So Source is always sending us things magnetically, electromagnetically, that we need to work on. All triggers are unhealed wounds. So if you're ever triggered, it's never having to do with the other person. It's always having to do with you. A lot of people I talk to are triggered immediately before I even open my mouth. It's because I know already that they're being judgmental, they're judging me. We attract electromagnetically what we are, and if I'm being judgmental, then I'm going to attract judgmental people in my reality, right? I'm going to attract judgmental people. If I'm going to be judgmental, I'm going to see more of that in my reality. If I'm being narcissistic, I'm going to see more of that in my reality. If I'm being empathic, I'm going to see more empaths in my reality. We attract what we are electromagnetically. We don't attract what we want. We attract what we are, so we could learn and grow. Walking up on strangers at the flea market, and one person said, "What do you want?" to me. And he asked me. I just came to have a conversation. I don't want anything. So this is clearly trigger within the individual that is unhealed, that he needs to go within and work it out. But if you don't know that meditation is a mindful tool to heal, and if you've never meditated before, that's why you're running in circles of suffering. Man who goes against the laws of nature will suffer. So if you go against what's natural for your body, you're going to suffer. What's natural for the body is the 4 pillars of awakening and ascension. Shortcut to enlightenment is meditation, breathwork, grounding and earthing, and fasting. Those 4 pillars done daily connects us back to God. Those 4 pillars reconnect us back to God, because we lost the connection for thousands of years. So this is the reconnection back to God. It's the 4 pillars of awakening and ascension is the reconnection to nature and God. Breathwork, meditation, fasting, and grounding and earthing. We have to reconnect back to nature, what's natural to the human. Because remember, anytime we do something that goes against the nature of the human, this is suffering. So this is why I created on June 3rd the 4 pillars of awakening and ascension, shortcut to enlightenment. And if we do these 4 pillars daily, then we will transform our external reality and our external mirror reflection. So we have to pay attention to being mindful and going back to nature, because we've been so far disconnected that I see the collective, everyone is lost. Everyone is suffering. That's what I'm saying out of thousands of people, talking with thousands and thousands of people, one-on-one, worldwide, online on TikTok, Facebook, WhatsApp, and in the collective, in the physical. Through the work that I'm doing, I'm noticing that a lot of people are really lost and suffering because they are disconnected from nature and God. And we need to reconnect. The 4 pillars of awakening and ascension reconnect us back to God and nature. Meditation, grounding and earthing, breathwork, and fasting. And if we do these 4 pillars daily, we will eliminate the suffering. Man who thinks in the past is depressed. Man who thinks in the future has anxiety. Source is telling us to come back and bring our mind back to the current moment and live in the present now moment. And this is where the creation happens and where we manifest, in the present now. But if our mind is lost in the past or the future, we're never going to get a chance to live in our creative moment now. And we lose that motivation and inspiration because we're always in the past or the future in the mind. Remember, Hermes Trismegistus said, another incarnation of Yeshua, said that the universe is mental. Okay? The universe is mental. You create your universe in the current moment, not in the past, not in the future. Well, what society wants and the leaders want is for us to get lost in the past and the future so we can never create and be blissful and do awesome things in the current, present, now moment. So basically what's going to happen here is if we get too disconnected from nature and God, this is unhealthy and we have to reconnect. And that includes attachments like soda and other things. We have to keep a good balance. If not, we will suffer, right? We suffer from our attachments. Okay? That's currently what I'm suffering from, my attachments. One of the original Buddhas said that we suffer from our attachments. Gautama Siddhartha in India said that the suffering in the human come from the attachments. What are we attached to that's causing the suffering? Are we attached to sense thought? Are we attached to sense consciousness? Are we attached to food, sex, drugs? What are the things that we're attached to that want us to give more? That's why we're suffering, because of attachment. We also suffer from loss. What are the other reasons and ways that humans suffer? We suffer from loss. Sometimes you never forget, but it gets better eventually. You learn to live with it, right? So we suffer from attachment, we suffer from loss, we suffer from dis-ease. Anytime we go against the laws of nature, we will have dis-ease. Conscious endeavors. Have a good day.